Good evening, my name is Joyce Palego, and this is group 18. We are dealing with the topic, we're doing the project on circulatory system, and these are my group members.
Kimotai is the leader.
Emily Marita, Nicola Tim,
and Vincent Kerui.
The circulatory system in mammals is responsible for transporting nutrients, gases, and waste products through the body. We have two types of circulatory systems. We have the open, which includes invertebrates such as insects, mollusks, and the second one is the closed type of circulatory system. It includes vertebrates such as mammals, birds, fish, and reptiles. We will compare the differences between the two circulatory systems. The open, it's the body fluid, which is called the hemolymph, is contained within blood vessels, while in the closed, the hemolymph. Secondly, we'll have to look at the comparisons between the two circulatory systems. First one, the difference between the open and the closed circulatory system. In the open, the hemolymph is not contained in blood vessels, while in the closed, the hemolymph is contained in blood vessels. Secondly, in open circulatory system, it is commonly in invertebrates such as the mollusks and the arthropods, while in closed, it is common in vertebrates such as the mammals, birds, and reptiles. And then, in open circulatory system, the regulation of blood is precise because it is not contained in vessels, while in closed circulatory system, the regulation of blood is precise and more efficient. And then we'll have to look at the distribution of blood flow. It varies through the body based on the activity level, organ demand, and vascular tone. Then the volume of blood in the circulatory system, it varies depending on age, gender, and activity. Then elasticity of blood vessels, especially in arteries, it plays a critical role in the systole and diastole, where the systole is the contraction of the heart, while the diastole is relaxation of the heart. Then we'll look at the venous return, which is the flow of blood back to the veins. It is essential for maintaining cardiac output.
I'm doing the invertebrate circulation of arthropods, annelids, and crustaceans and mollusks. So beginning with annelids, it has organisms such as earthworms, and its circulatory system is closed. Blood contained within vessels, allowing for efficient transport. Dorsal and ventral blood vessels connected by the segmented vessels. And then hemoglobin in the blood cells are for oxygen transport. Moving to the next, mollusca. Mollusks, which has organisms such as snails. It has open circulatory system, most of them except for the cephalopods. Hemolymph bathes organs directly in the body cavity. Heart pumps hemolymphs into sinuses and organs. Cephalopods have a closed system with multiple hearts and gills. Moving to arthropods, it has organisms such as insects. It has an open circulatory system. Hemolymph circulates through sinuses and cavities. Heart is tubular structure that pumps hemolymph. Respiratory system, gills or trachea is separate from circulation. Hemolymph contains immune cells for defense. And then crustaceans, which has organisms such as crabs. It has an open circulatory system. Hemolymph circulates in a body cavity called hemocells. Heart pumps hemolymph through arteries into sinuses. Gills are used for respiration and are often involved in gas exchange. Hemolymph contain hemocyanin for oxygen transport. Hemocyanin is a pigment, and it's used for the oxygen transport within the body. That's all about the invertebrate circulation.
I'm taking elasmobranchiantillious arts, amphibian arts, reptilian arts, avian and mammalian arts. First, in elasmobranchiantillious arts, they have closed circulatory system. Both have two chambered arts consisting of one atria and one ventricle, pumping blood through their bodies. In both, they have single circulatory system where the blood is pumped once through their bodies. In amphibian arts, they have three chambered arts consisting of two completely separated atria and one incomplete separated ventricle. The left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs, while the right atrium receives venous blood from the general circulatory system of the amphibian. Third, in reptilian arts, they have three chambered arts consisting of two atria and one ventricle. The blood in the circulatory pattern is single, where the blood is pumped once through their bodies. In other reptiles, such as crocodiles and alligators, there are four chambered arts where the art is separated by a septum to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Fourth, in avian and mammalian arts, they experience double circulation where it has an atria and ventricle being completely divided. There is systematic and pulmonary circulation, and the pressure between the two is very different. Mammals lack the renal portal system present in birds. Thank you.
So let's talk about the heartbeat. Heartbeats are rhythmic contractions and relaxations of the heart muscles, and specifically cardiac muscles. Let's talk about factors affecting the heart rate. One of the factors is temperature. For example, if heat increases, the heart rate will increase. The second factor that affects heart rate is emotions. So emotions like anxiety, stress, and excitement makes the heart rate to increase. The next factor that affects the heart rate is age, whereby younger people have a higher heart rate as old people have a lower heart rate. Another factor that affects heart rate is health, whereby healthy people have lower heart rates and people who are not healthy have increased heart rates. Okay. Next, we are going to talk about cardiovascular systems. So cardiovascular systems, this is it is vital for maintaining homeostasis. Okay, so let's talk about cardiovascular system. So cardiovascular system is vital for maintaining homeostasis of the body, and it can be regulated by factors such as blood pressure, cardiac output, and peripheral resistance. Okay, so let's define cardiac output. Cardiac output is the volume of blood pumped by the heart per minute, and it can be calculated by multiplying the heart rate and the stroke volume, whereby the stroke volume is the amount of blood ejected by the heart with each output. Okay, so let's define what a peripheral resistance is. So peripheral resistance is the resistance of blood to flow in small arteries and arterioles located away from the heart or at the periphery. So this peripheral resistance also affects blood pressure. Okay, so let's go to blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force exerted by blood on walls of arteries. So blood pressure can be regulated by balancing between cardiac output, blood volume, and also the peripheral resistance. So some of the factors that affects blood pressure is the blood volume, whereby low blood volume makes the blood pressure to be low, and the high blood volume makes the blood volume to be high. Blood pressure, so let's talk about the blood pressure. Blood pressure is the force exerted by blood on walls of arteries. Blood pressure can be regulated by balancing between cardiac output, blood volume, and also peripheral resistance. So some of the factors that affect blood pressure is blood volume, whereby low blood volume leads to a low blood pressure, and a high blood volume leads to high blood pressure. Another factor that affects blood pressure is the peripheral resistance, whereby if the peripheral resistance increases, the blood pressure also increases, while reduction in peripheral resistance also leads to reduction in blood pressure. The last factor that affects blood pressure is hormones, whereby we find some hormones like antidiuretic hormones increases the blood pressure by increasing the blood volume. Thank you.
So my part was the types of hearts, and with the types of heart, they are classified morphologically into four. So we have the tubular hearts, we have the pulsating heart, vessels or hearts, either way. Then we have the chambered hearts, and then the accessory hearts. So the first one is the pulsating vessels, where they contract with the rhythmic peristaltic waves, as in annelids hearts. So contraction of the dorsal vessel in the principal means by which blood is propelled. The archworm lumbricus has 5 pairs of hearts, and which functions as the accessory organs. So the next type of heart is the tubular hearts. Now tubular hearts, they are more complex than the pulsating vessels, and they have pores or hostia, which through which blood flows. So they are usually anchored at several places, and may be surrounded by pericardial membrane. So mostly associated with the arthropods. Okay, the muscular sacs, the arthropods, they may extend the length of the body as in insects. So and or maybe pulsating muscular sacs in a fluid-filled pericardial sinus. So as in crustaceans, maybe, for example. Then we have the chambered hearts, and this one is more characteristic in mollusk and chordates. So the chambered hearts is a more efficient pump than the facial of the okay, they are more efficient than the pulsating vessels or the tubular hearts. Okay, the mammalian heart has several valves that control the direction of the blood. Okay, then we go to the fourth type of heart, which is the accessory hearts. This also called the boosters. Yeah, because they're common in invertebrates and vertebrates. So they help to propel blood through the peripheral channels that lead to vital organs. Yeah, they're associated with the gills in octopus, exactly. Then accessory pumps works by outside pressure. Such pressure are found in large veins, maybe in our own legs, yeah, human legs. Then the walls of these veins are thin, and there are valves they have valves to prevent the blood from flowing backwards. And those are the 4 types of hearts classified morphologically. Thank you.